You see them all over the place. They're on the screen right now, but what do they actually mean? In this video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into candlestick charts, what they mean, what the wicks mean, what the bodies mean, and the colors, all here in the next couple minutes. All right, let's just dive right on in. So I'm going to pull myself off the screen here in just a second, and we're going to cover how to get here, what the basics of a candlestick chart are so that you are more informed about price action. Okay, so let's pop off. Let's make this screen bigger, and here we go. So right now we are looking at SPY, so we're going to use as our example. It's the S&P 500 ETF, okay? Now, we are on a platform called TradingView, okay? This is a platform that can be free, but if you want to use some of the more advanced features, they do have paid versions, and we are on a paid version. You can still use and view candlestick charts and the basic features of TradingView for free. I will leave a link to TradingView if you want to follow along with this exact platform in the video description box, but you do not need to follow along with TradingView. You can open up your brokerage platform of choice. It could be Webull. It could be even Robinhood these days. Robinhood actually now has candlesticks on their advanced charts. It could be TD Ameritrade. It could be a whole list of other brokers. Doesn't matter. As long as you can get candlestick charts, that's all that matters. On TradingView or at the top of your platform, somewhere along the top bar of your platform, there will be a section that has candles, okay? So I'm clicking up next to the time frames that I set here. There is this candles option, and I go to candles right here. Plain and simple, these are regular candlesticks. We are not talking about the other ones yet, but we will stick to the end and we'll have a brief discussion on both Heikin Ashi and hollow candles. All right, so now let's dissect the candlestick chart. First things first, let's zoom in because we need to zoom this in so we can see this a bit better. We have two things to talk about. The body, so the part of the candle that's solid, and then the wick, this little piece that you can see that this very skinny section that extends out the top and out the bottom of these candlesticks, okay? Now, the body, okay, that we have right here, for example, this body, this green, nice green candle, this body is indicating or shows essentially the difference from open to close. Now, on a green candle, this is very important. On a green candle, okay, and you can customize the colors, but on a standard green candlestick, the bottom of the body, the bottom of the solid part is the open, and the top of the solid part is the close, okay, for that candle. Now, we are on a 1-day chart, which means each of these candlesticks are one full day. This could, again, be 5 minutes, could be an hour, depends on the time frame. But the bottom of a green body candle is the open on that time frame, and the top is the close on that time frame. Okay? The wicks indicate range. So the bottom of the lower wick is the low of the day or the low price traded during that time frame, and the top of the wick on the upper end, the upper wick, is the high of the day, in this case on a daily chart, or the high of that given time frame, okay? The highest price traded during that time frame, okay? When we see big lower wicks, big upper wicks, that can indicate buyers or sellers showing some more strength. For example, we saw some buyers showing some strength here on this candle as we had price action trend or trade all the way down to the lower end of the wick on this red candle, and then it ended up closing here. Now on a red candle, it's the exact opposite of a green candle. The top of the body, the top of the solid part of the red candle is the open, and the bottom is the close. So the color of the candle is only determined if the open and the close, or where the close is relative to the open. So for example, let's say the next day here, the market opens on a given day. The market opens right here, okay, this price. And then it closes up here at this price. Well, this is going to be a green candle, and we're going to have something like this, and maybe there's a wick up here and a wick down here, right? But this is going to be a green candle. So if the market were to open, let's say here, and then close the same day or that time frame here, it's going to be a red candle. So we're going to have a solid body that's red, and then the wicks will be the wicks. The wicks don't really matter in this case. All that really matters in terms of the coloring is the open and the closed. Close is below the open, red. Close is above the open, green. Okay? Pretty straightforward. It does not have to be very complicated. Now, where it can get more complicated is when you take it a step further. So we understand now that the bodies of candles, right, what they mean. We know what the wicks mean, but what about hollow and Heikin Ashi? Now, before I get into hollow candles, I do want to mention, though, that because this plays into hollow candles, a green candle does not mean that the stock was up that day compared to the next. It just means that from open to close, it was up. For example, right? You can look back. Let's look back to the left here. Let's see if we can find a good example of this. Let me adjust this chart. What I'm looking for is a situation where we have a green candle, yet we pretty much were red on the day. And it's not very easy to find. There's not a ton of them out there. But let's see if I can find one. Here you guys have it. Boom. Go back to, this is March 13th, 2023. What you're going to see is that, look at this candlestick right here. This candle's green, right? But the day before, the market closed right here. Price closed here. The next day, it opens here and closes here. The close is still below the prior day close. So we were technically down on this day, on the 13th, compared to the day before, compared to the 10th, which is the Friday before, but the candle is green. So just because a candle is green doesn't mean that the market was up that day when looking at a daily chart. If I were to now go over, top of the screen, go to candlesticks, go down to hollow candles, watch this candle. Watch this one right here. March 13th. Watch this one. Now it's red. But now it's dark, hollow, and then it has the red outline. So now, when we're talking hollow candles, here's where it gets a little more confusing. Hollow candles are where we have price pushing up from open to close, and then the coloring of the candle depends on the prior candle's close. Okay, let's unpack that. So solid down. Solid means down, hollow means up. Okay, so this is where green and red don't really matter. You can make different colors out of this if you wanted to. It's up to you. But this day, right, market opens here, closes here, solid red. Okay, the colors actually mean compared to the prior day. So as long as the close of one candle is lower than the close of the prior candle, that candle is going to be red. If the close of one candle, or a given candle, for example, let's say this guy right here, this is where it closed, is above the close of the prior candle, that candle will be green. Solid is down, hollow is up. So we have right here is an example of some of these green candles. Now, what these green candles show us is that price closed here, price then the next day closes here because it's a solid candle. On a solid candle, that's showing us price trending down from open to close that day, or that in that candlestick. Yet the close of this candle on the 27th of March was above the close of the 24th of March. That's why it's green. Okay? So that's the difference when it comes down to solid versus hollow candles. Personally, I don't really care too much about the difference here in terms of would I prefer hollows or would I prefer regulars. I know what they mean and I know how to read them. And so to me, it just comes down to personal preference. If you like being able to pull more information out of the chart, maybe having hollow candles and solid candles works best for you. If not, then maybe just regular candlesticks are good. Next piece here is going to be Heikin Ashi. Now here's Heikin Ashi. It's going to look way different, okay? Heikin Ashi is actually using more of a trend and a calculation involved. And so what Heikin Ashi does a good job of is depicting trends. And so inside of this, all these candles are green right here, right? But inside of this, there were some days where the market was red, right? But the Heikin Ashi calculation still is showing trend to the upside. And the same thing inside of this move to the downside. So Heikin Ashi, we've actually got some videos going deeper into Heikin Ashi. If you want to learn more about them, check out our channel and just type in Heikin Ashi in the search bar of our homepage. But at a minimum, this is going to give you more of a trend approach and a good way to tell where the market is trending and ironing out and blending out some of the noise and the ups and the downs that you might see along the way. And many of those end up being minor ups and downs anyway. So, okay, with that said, now you have a good understanding of what candlesticks mean, what they tell you, and then how you can potentially use that now in your own favor. So with that said, I do want to mention one thing. If this information was awesome or it was easy to digest, you got it. If you want to dive deeper than candlesticks, there's actually a platform out there. It's called Bookmap. And Bookmap is able to dive and go beyond the candlesticks, showing you things like liquidity heat maps, where buyers are stacking up, where sellers are stacking up, aggressive buyers and sellers, where the majority of market buyers or sellers are, and what side of the trade they have been on throughout a given time period. All that information is even better, in my opinion, than just candlesticks. So if you want to level up your game and you've got candlesticks mastered, check out Bookmap. I'll leave a link down below this video to Bookmap if you want to check them out, get set up, and understand what's going on behind the candlesticks to really understand price action and where movements, how movements start, and where movements may continue to go given all that information. Thanks so much. Make sure you are subscribed here to the channel. Consider it a thumbs up button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.